let them take this. You got fucked like I LASIK, yeah. I see straight, yeah, hop on spaces, we get crazy, yeah. Screen J for J, straight from the town hall to the stages, yeah. Big old playlist, just 6 months and now it's ageless, yeah. Appreciation, it's the motto, it's the way, yeah. Conversations and alignment and Jason's, yeah. Compilations of the dogs and the amazements, yeah. Juke the nation, we united, we the greatest, yeah. Juke, 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 juke. Juke, 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 juke. Juke for some juke, that's exchanging truth for truth. Soup, partly soup, that's the way that we be moving, yeah. Juke, 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 juke. Juke, 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 juke. Juke for some juke, that's exchanging truth for truth. Soup, partly soup, that's the way that we be moving, yeah. Like I LASIK, yeah. I see straight, yeah, hop on spaces, we get crazy, yeah. Screen J for J, straight from the town hall to the stages, yeah. Big old playlist, just 6 months and now it's ageless, yeah. Appreciation, it's the motto, it's the way, yeah. Conversations and alignment and Jason's, yeah. Compilations of the dogs and the amazements, yeah. Juke the nation, we united, we the greatest, yeah. Juke, 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 juke. Juke, 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 juke. Juke for some juke, that's exchanging truth for truth. Soup, partly soup, that's the way that we be moving, yeah. Juke, 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 juke. Juke, 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 juke. Juke for some juke, that's exchanging truth for truth. Soup, partly soup, that's the way that we be moving, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another JUP rally. I am yes, we're live. We are live.
I'm not done yet. I'm still doing the slides.
Keep going, keep going. No one talk to me out for the next minute or two while he does the slides. In the meantime, I will introduce all of us and what we're going to be doing here. JM to everybody. Ira says that's a tired looking Meow. Meow's never tired. He's in a perpetual state of adrenaline rush, basically. The last minute slide finisher. What's going on? Cass and AG and RJ and everybody else. I saw Prado, my guy Satchel. Meow always looks like he's late to class. Can I just tell you, we need more memes.
I am late to class.
The essay was finished 8 minutes ago. The slides unfinished, but we are live here with a few thousand of our closest friends. Shout out to Denise, Marino, Katoshi, Prado, and everybody else. What I need are more memes. That's what I need, of memes of Meow being late to class, fuck my life, essay do, all that kind of shit. Please share those with us so we can highlight those on the next JUP rally. But before we start off this JUP rally, there's one thing that we have to do, and it's very important. We got to play the unofficial CATPad theme song. Let's go.
Doesn't work.
That's right. We're here with a JUP rally. The energy is high. My name is Cash. I am the cat herder over here at Jupiter, and I am joined by the literal last-minute essay finisher, Meow himself. That look when you have an essay due and you just about got it in on time. We have a fun one
Cash,
for you
I
today.
wouldn't want to spend like a good 2 minutes talking about the difference between the JUP rally and the planetary call. How about that? Good idea? Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
This is called vamping for time, ladies and gentlemen, is what Meow is doing over here. Indeed. So we are here in a JUP rally, which is indeed a little bit different than the planetary call. Planetary calls, all about bringing the inside to the outside. Those are how we kind of think of Jupyter board meetings in a way, where we communicate not just to all the users, but importantly, all the community members, all the token holders, all the partners, and the rest of the ecosystem about what is being built. So in those, we'll typically highlight the latest developments, new features, new products. We do Cadets Corner. We talk about the community and all the cool things happening in the DAO. That's the planetary call. That's a different thing. This is a JUP rally, and the JUP rally has a very straightforward purpose. Let me quickly fly to that slide that I made here. The JUP rally is here so that we can rally around core ideas. They're going to drive us forward as Meow's forehead has come forward into the camera right now. The JUP rally.
I think I'm live.
Sorry, I'm allergic to that much forehead. In the JUP rally, we focus on ideas. And so we try to kind of form key narratives and push those forward. We might talk about key votes, which are oftentimes ideological in nature. And we generally try to push the space and the community forward. So the point of the JUP rally is not to just kind of talk in detail about new features, things like that. Rather, it is to set the stage, to set the context for the narratives that are going to power JUP and the rest of the ecosystem forward. That is what we are trying to do here. How was that, Meow? Bullish forehead.
Perfect. I share tweet it now.
Yeah, go for it. As you do, let me just share one other piece of news that's happened since the last call. The planet stays on, folks. We just finished up another DAO vote. Cash, new camp settings looking lit. See, this is why Sax is my favorite person in the entire community. And this is also why JUP and Juice is the best podcast in the whole goddamn world. Excellent observational skills. I got a new light. I'm feeling very professional here. Shout out to Seb Monty and Cowboy for helping me with that. So anyway, the more important thing is the logo vote is now over. People will remember there was a chance to change to a new logo, a cat-themed logo. The community spoke. I think it ended up being about 58-42 or something like that. The logo is Safu, as Jupiter Turkey is saying. Will says people love the cat logo. I love the cat logo in people's profiles.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the vote?
I feel good. I think that it did end up. I love the tool that we built kind of last minute. I think I had that idea like, I don't know, 6-8 hours before the vote. Shout out to Honey on the team who built that super quick, him and Shaf, who designed it. I think it's a great PFP. I'd really love to see everyone's kind of like profile picture in front of that cat-shaped background. I think it looks sick. Ultimately, though, I won't lie, I ended up voting for the old logo. I was persuaded by the community, which talked about the kind of amount of brand reputation and brand energy in association with that. People thought it was going to be a landslide win. It was not. No, it was a pretty close vote. People were, 58-42 is, a decisive win, but not the only one. Which way did you vote, Meow?
I can't say. I can tell you. Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you.
Somebody, Zero, says that the new logo should be Meow's forehead, and I'm inclined to agree. So look forward to that vote coming up very soon in the Jupiter DAO. Anyway, so that is done. Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the 2030 plan. We've been talking about this in bits and pieces over the past few weeks. Today, we're going to go deep on it. And again, this is about the idea of where does alignment come from and what are the different reserves used for. So this is really a kind of a helpful proxy for people to be able to learn much more about how the treasury works, how governance works, what is the 50-50 principle and how it applies, as well as what alignment's all about. That's why we're here in a JUP rally. After that, we're going to talk about the token verification processes and some improvements that are being made. People will remember May gave a little bit of a talk on this over at Castamble. Shout out to May, the Empress of the Jupiverse. Do drop a little W for May in the chat. I know she could use it right now. We are going to give a little bit more details of what we're going to do there. The verification services that Jupiter has offered for free to the entire ecosystem for many years are an invaluable part of how people trade tokens. And we need to consistently level up and improve it and meet new realities. So we're going to talk a little bit about some thinking there. And then finally, we're going to talk about a new launch meta, the C.A.T, which might have a little product associated with it as well.
Let's go.
I'm very excited about that one. Meow, your internet is...
Let's go. What's that?
Your internet is, this is the technical term, dog shit. Is that just me, chat? It's Meow freezing, or is that just me? We'll see. It's the freeze. Cat shit, says Jupiter. Okay, cool. It's not just me. So yeah, you're going to need better Wi-Fi, my guy. before we go forward. He's frozen with a grimace on. Okay, cool.
Oh, really?
Well, let's see. You want to try reconnecting or hotspotting yourself? You're live with Cash Donna Tech Support here. Please tell us your issues.
I'll try hotspot. 1 second. I'll try hotspot myself. 1 second.
Cool. So as Meow does that, this is a quick reminder here. All these ideas are going to affect everything in the Jupiverse. And here is the Jupiter team. Great little photo taken from Cat's Temple over here as well. Okay, so I think the way that we're going to do this here is the Meow is going to go through the essay that he's written. I do encourage everyone to pay attention. Again, the point of the Jup rally here is to share these kind of foundational ideas that are, I think, both a symbol for what Jup stands for as well as for how we want to interact. So Meow, let me pull up your essay. I assume that you tweeted it because that was your I just tweeted smile celebration. Let me pull it up right about now. Hold on 1 second, folks.
Oh, no. Is this better?
I think so.
No.
Looks better. Try dancing a little bit. We'll see if the motion blur is there. Yeah, that's good. Give us a little forehead. Yeah, okay, that's what we want. All right. Meow looking like a K-pop star today. Let's go. All right,
let's go.
I'm going to share my screen here, and then we will take a look through the essay as I pull this up. Meow, you want to talk a little bit? There we go. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Let me be very clear. This is a draft. This might be a very, very much of a draft is another way to think about this, a heavy draft. It might change a little bit. But Meow, why don't you take it away? Tell the people a little bit about what the goal of Jupiter is and how the OG team contributed.
Oh, can you make it slightly bigger? Can you zoom it slightly bigger?
Not really. I guess I can zoom in like this. Hold on.
That's great. That's much better. That's much better. The white screen is better. Yeah.
Cool. Like this?
No, the white screen one. White screen.
Boom.
Yes, like this, and then make it bigger. Yes, make it bigger.
Make it bigger.
Make the text bigger.
Oh,
the text.
This is
the text.
Yeah.
Yay! There you go. Yes, you got it, babe. You got it. Yes, I called.
You're live with Cash Donna Tech Support. Right. Best in the business. There we go. All right.
So,
cool.
Can you stop? Okay. Let's go. All right. Okay. So this essay is actually very, very personal for me for many reasons. And very, very many reasons actually. Both because we talk a lot about the team, and we talk a lot about what Jup wants to do, and we talk about kind of like my personal motivations, right? You know, so I think it's actually a very important essay for a number of reasons. Yeah. All right. So first of all, I think first of all, I think one thing that's actually pretty clear from doing all these parent calls, right, is that we have never actually wanted to build a DeFi protocol. You know, never. I don't think if we want to do a DeFi protocol, we'll be doing all these things.
Me and I were talking about this earlier today. Actually, we were like, man, we're doing the new product lines, this, that, the other thing. Man, we could have just played it easy, just done the normal DeFi thing and just kind of hung out, build it, got a yacht, all that kind of stuff. But no, that's not the game here. What is the game?
Yeah, but the game is that we really want to build a foundation, right? Both technical, community, and product foundation, right? To really drive to really be because I do actually sincerely feel like crypto is going to be dominant in the future, one way or the other, right? I actually sincerely believe that, right? And it's also my very, very sincere wish, right? To actually let Jupiter be part of it, right? To kind of be the big part of like setting the creating a background, creating ethos, and creating the community around that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. So I just have to go over quick. So I think first of all, I think I wanna there's actually, so I've been reading a lot of the comments on Reddit, on Twitter, and Discord. And so I think what I want to do is I want to write an essay and stuff to really kind of like address a lot of the questions that people have, you know, about a lot of things. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, yeah. How do I highlight things though? How do I log in on things? How do I spotlight things?
Do you want to share your screen?
All right. No, it's fine. So anyway, I think first of all, I think the OG team is like, I think when we launched Jup, we're actually a very small team. The token, right? When we first started Jupiter or Mercurial way back, we actually just a couple of co-founders. And then when we launched Jup the token, right, which we are about a small team of 15 people. And then I think obviously we built through many things, right? Like many crises, many failures, and so many failures, man. Right. So anyway, this team this set of team members, right, was allocated 20% of the total plus supply, right? And of course, and of course, I mean, it's okay. Who would have known that Jupiter and JUP would be pretty good, right? It was impossible to tell, right? But we have been working on it for a number of years. And then the other thing is that so anyway, as part of and also last year, as part of the 30% to supply burn, right, the team voluntarily burned about 30% of the allocation, right, 600 million joule, right, bring it to 1.4 million joule. We also obviously voluntarily locked the team clear for 2 more years. Yeah. So anyway, on my personal end, I have about 280 million allocated to me. Yeah, it's on personal front. Yeah, so that's actually the OG allocation. Yeah, is that clear?
Very clear. I mean, it's a little crazy, if you ask me, honestly, that such a small team was able to do all this. But yeah, I think it is clear enough. Let's talk about what happened in CAT year 0, though, because things did start to change.
So for those who are not very sure, CAT year 0 refers to like after JUP. So when JUP launched, the JUP launched, that marked CAT year 0, right?
Beginning
and
of
then
CAT year 0.
And then Istanbul ended CAT year 0. Okay, cool.
And that became CAT year 1.
Yeah, CAT year so CAT year 1 has started. Okay, right? So I think one of the things one of the important things I always tell other entrepreneurs, right, is that hey bro, what's crazy? What's crazy is that during the last cycle when everything went to hell, we actually expanded a lot. We doubled down on product, doubled down on team, doubled down on community. And I think that and so actually and actually I think that's actually very important, because that investment, right, in team and community was actually very, very important, for actually setting a foundation for actually for Jupiter to do well, right? Forward. Yeah. And then and similarly over the last year, right, which is CAT year 0, we actually doubled down on bringing a new set of team members, right? So we're going to 15 to about 80 people now, right? And what's actually really cool is that we actually have new core skills running across the entire stack, right? From like deep blockchain technology, cryptography, mobile, user systems, community growth, liquidity systems, everything, And obviously these two new members are also driving like key areas of Jupiter, right? Including Jupiter Research Center, which is on JupNet, right? JUP.ag, which is around like obviously then it's growing a pretty comprehensive, right? Your portfolio, your trenches, your spread, your spots, and everything, And then lastly, it's also Jupiter Mobile, obviously, which actually I actually have a very strong belief that we'll continue to actually improve and scale it in the coming months. Yeah. Of course, these are only at the product and engineering level, right? Is that at a community level, I think I'm also really proud of the team that we have now, right? I think we have a team that will be actually really anchor and drive Jupiterverse into a world movement, Of course, with the DAO and the working groups, to have probably the most decentralized community in the world. And of course, you obviously kind of unify the community, right, at regular online and offline events. Yeah.
I got to say, I'm a big fan of this double down strategy. I, of course, am one of the beneficiaries of this double down strategy, having joined Jupiter recently in CAT year 0 as well. So clearly, there's some good talent that has come on board. Not necessarily me, but other folks are really killers. I mean, big shout out to like Nick and Aaron and Joe and so many others. I don't want to leave anyone else.
I feel like that's actually the one thing that's actually really important, right? Is that we actually really worked hard on recruiting them, right? And also one thing is actually really, really important to understand here, right? Is that these guys can really be everywhere. They can really be everywhere. And often at places with a lot more money and a lot more like certainty, right? And the fact that they actually want to be here is actually a pretty big deal, I think. Yeah.
I would agree. And I think the talent, assembling talent is really both the hardest and one of the most important jobs of a company and of a founder in particular. And for you, it's kind of been a core moat, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, you can open source code, you can copy code, right? But can you open source cache? Can you copy cache? Can you duplicate that sexy Indian smile? Can you do that? Oh, it's so hard to do. I mean, check out that smile. Come on, how do you duplicate that? This is so funny. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Sorry, I find myself funny. It's fine. Anyway,
But yeah, the talent has really come together in the right way, working on key products,
we
working
don't
on
know yet.
key.
Guys, okay. Honestly, though, we don't know quite yet, right? You see what I'm saying, right? We don't know quite yet, right? It's like I feel like last year, honestly, was a lot of like trial and error and testing, right? And I feel like, and also trying to put the team together in a certain way. And I feel like, and I feel like, I feel like this year is actually where I think we start to really show a lot of things that can work and happen. You know, right? So I think that's actually important for me to also communicate as well. Yeah.
So part of the expansion, part of the expansion that happened here, obviously came through acquisitions and other things like that. And as you point out in this part, it actually came from the team treasury itself, right?
Yes, accurate. So actually, one of the things that actually is actually really important here, right, is to actually understand that like the expansion is like all the many parts of the expansion is actually funded by the team treasury, right? That is from the JUP we sold at the launch, but more significantly from the fees that we earn, right? And then and basically like all new timbers and bonuses and cash com are done by team treasury. Business very important, right? For some acquisitions, right, the cash component and the payouts are also done by team treasury, right? You know, and for certain projects at Moonshot, because they operate as an external arm, we're funding it completely out of team treasury as well, right? Business, and then for people, so for people working on the platform and really focus day in day out, right, on driving and increasing value for Jupiter and JUP, right? Of course, and so they will actually be allocated JUP. They'll be distributed over the next few years. Of course, it's actually crucial for long-term alignment, right? So basically, 65 people, the 65 people or what along those lines that we recruited over the first year, right, needs JUP. You know? Yeah.
Correct.
Done.
JUP is the alignment engine. It makes sure that everyone's on the same page and we have the same kind of incentives and the same kind of shared
currency
purpose that comes through.
JUP,
right? It's a community
JUP is,
currency. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. JUP is three things, right? The community, like the community currency, right? The community currency, the core alignment engine, right? And also like what's the one? I forgot. Fuck.
Simple.
I forgot. Shit.
We have a
I suck.
framework. That's right. We'll get another time. Somebody asked in the chat here, Shiva asked in the chat, will these acquisitions have a DAO vote as the Jupiter matures? They probably will not, because these acquisitions are coming from the team treasury. One of the key principles of everything that goes on between Jupiter and the DAO is this idea of 50-50, right? Where 50% goes to the team, 50% goes to the DAO and the community. And these acquisitions are all done by the team itself.
But if the DAO wants to use the allocation to acquire something, okay, then there's DAO.
And there might be some votes, and there might be some votes in that direction coming up. Probably not acquisitions of teams necessarily, but some other types of investments are definitely possible for the DAO. But indeed, the DAO is a separate thing from the team acquiring things.
Yeah. Okay. And anyway, there are two things, right? So as outlined in the Mint audit and over the last two audits, right?
Strategic resource. Thank you, Jupiter Exchange, for getting
yes.
that.
Thank you, strategic resource. Yes, thank you. Yes, grow the meta.
Anyway.
Right, okay. Anyway, yes, precisely. So as Scarlett said earlier, right? So basically, the DAO has their own mechanism, right, of recruiting talent. Okay, which is very, very important. Okay, the DAO has budget, and the DAO has budget, and the DAO actually has budget both in JUP, right? As a USDC to recruit talent, right? It's obviously a different mechanism, a different sourcing mechanism, right? And a different voting mechanism. You see what I'm saying, right? But and it's also very exciting because the way a DAO sources, and I will actually run essay on this tomorrow, but next week, by the way, right? Talking about how the yes, I will.
I've never heard that before. Wow. Okay.
No. And it's actually very important. I over the last year, I finally figured out how to actually properly explain working groups and the role of JUP and USDC in that role. So I'm saying, right? And I can't long time how it works. But that's next week, right? That's next week, right? This week we'll focus on the team part of it, which is kind of in some sense a lot more established, right? Same thing, right? Yeah. Okay, and let's go on. Yeah. Anyway, so that you're gone?
No, please. I was just going to transition in the next section.
No, I agree, man. So I agree, man. I think DAO working groups are the best thing ever, right? But back to the point, right? So I think we did 3 audit, right? The main audit, and 1 audit 1 and 2 audit 2. Right? I think strongly take a look, right? Particularly at the last audit, right? Because that will actually be the most accurate state of where the results are at the moment. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, anyway there's one the first result, right, which is as outlined in the JUP. It's managed by team, right? It's actually managed by team, and it's the engine for future growth, right? And then so while we will actually use the strategy reserve as per our strategic needs, but we always make sure that we actually communicate and be public about how these funds are used before they use the reserve. So here's actually interesting, right? Because we recognize that it's actually a matter of deep trust. You know what I'm saying? Because when you emit from the reserve, it's effectively a bet, right? That the usage of the reserves, right, will eventually be worth much more than what's given out. Make sense?
Correct.
So in some sense, it's a trust mechanism, right? Like the team has the ability to use the reserves, right? But they actually have to be accountable for it. Make sense? And also, the thing is it's also a very, very cognitive of the bet. Obviously, it's a bet, right? That when these things go out, right, the outcome will be good. And ultimately, since the team manages the reserves, we take on the liability, right? We're saying, hey, cool, we are going to make it work. Yeah. That's sense? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, and it's a matter of kind of like investment. This is where JUP becomes a real strategic resource, right? Is like you want to invest it in places where you think you can increase value for the entire JUPiverse more so than just holding on to that JUP ourselves would. So the reserves are for growth. Woodman says that is correct, and that growth can come in many forms. It might be partnerships, might be acquisitions, might be team incentives and alignment and things like that.
But also to be clear though, is that we're actually very, very careful about using it. Right, we're actually very,
Have
very
we
careful
used it at all? Has it been used at all so far?
No,
It has not, right?
And then if my proposal, if my option 2 passes, that we wouldn't even use it
Until
Make sense?
2030. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe use it. No, we might use it later, right? No, we might tap into it, but not for
unrelated
this.
things. Correct.
Yeah, precisely, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But no matter what, we'll be accountable for it.
That's
Make
right.
sense? Yeah,
So there's
I
one
think
strategic reserve that's controlled by the team, and then there's the community reserve on the other side. Can you describe what the community reserve is a little bit?
What's that, sir? What's that? Oh yeah.
I said,
Community reserve.
yeah.
It's actually way more simpler in some sense, right? It's that the community was allocated, so it was 50-50, right? The community was allocated 50% of the tokens, right? And there's some tokens that have been allocated away, right? For example, the 2 jubilaries, for example, first jubilary, 2 jubilaries, 100 million to the DAO, and things like that. Make sense? Cool, right? So the rest are basically reserve. That's it. Okay? The rest is basically reserve. And then the reserve and so it's obvious and so basically it will actually go to the basically like the as per what the DAO needs to start, it will be transferred to a DAO. But then here's the thing. Before it gets used, right? Either via a jubilary, or either via a working group, or either via DAO needs, you'll pass through a proposal, right? That's actually the core. And in fact, that's actually in some sense one of the core functions of DAO, right? Which is it's kind of almost like approving emissions, right, from the community pool, right? As well as usage of whatever USDC is granted to a DAO. Yeah.
That's right. Capital allocation here. So there's these 2 reserves, and there's all these team members that we need to get some JUP in so that they can be long-term aligned and continue building out these kind of critical pieces of the JUPiverse. And I think that takes us into the 2030 proposal. Do you want to talk about option 1 first?
So that's right. Said, will this document be published? Yes.
2 steps ahead of you, dude. Already published. You go to meow.bio and you can find this, or go to his Twitter.
Or on Twitter, on Jupiter Twitter and stuff. It's fine. Everything's there.
Correct.
Anyway, the second. Okay, so the 2030 proposal is simple, right? It's like, so basically we recruited about 65 team members, right? And then CAT 0, right? But I really want to meme the CAT 0 thing into existence.
I'll tell you what. How about this? I'm putting out a bounty. We'll put out I don't know, $500 for this or something like that. Make a CAT year 1 calendar, which is all just CAT year 1 as the year. The months are the same. and add some nice photos, maybe some memes of
So
Meow.
today is
like that.
so this is your cat year 1 week what? Week 1, week 2, week 5?
Week
5, right?
5,
Week 5.
yeah, week 5. Cat
Yeah,
symbol
week
is 5.
5, 6. Yeah,
This is
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get
yeah.
very, very
Oh,
complicated.
no, it's not really. So just before every protocol, we just mark it, right? The cat year.
Yeah. So we
One.
have the normal date, the Gregorian date, and then we have the cat year date. Yes,
Yeah,
$500 bounty for anyone that makes the best calendar for that. Hopefully,
Let's
Uplink can get that
go.
up
What?
on Super Team Merit as
Let's
well.
go.
Yeah, remember
Yeah.
the calendar has to start at Cat Istanbul, which was January 25th and 26th, then it goes all the way to next year's 25th and 26th. There we go.
All right.
Okay.
So anyway, option is simple, right? So basically the question, the vote is this, right? There are about 65 new team members. Okay, that we recruited. Actually, it's actually more than 280, but then we'll fund the rest of the JUP from our team treasury, right? But anyway, we actually, because I'm telling you, we invest a lot, right? In the future, But again, it's actually important to know that it's actually important to know that it's actually really important to know that there'll be this for long-term alignment, right? And not one-off. Okay, this will be for the everyone recruited in cat year 0. Okay, cool. Yeah. So any option 1 is so the default, right? Is like which is what we were planning on doing previously, right? Which is to unlock like 280 million JUP starting in July 2025.
Yep.
Right. And then and so that's actually the default. Okay. And option one is that then if the committee chooses option 1, then I'll receive my personal allocation of 280 JUP as per schedule. You know what I'm saying? Right? Although I would still follow through and promise not to touch them until 2026. Yeah. Make sense?
So that's the kind of default, straightforward option. That's the way we would have thought of it a little while ago. But then I remember, I think it was right around Cat Istanbul, you had a bit of a creative idea for option 2 of a different way to do it that kind of has some unique benefits. Can you describe what would happen in option 2?
Yeah, basically option 2 is simple, right? It's like, the team strategy reserve will not be touched, right? Instead I'll use it's actually pretty interesting because I kind of realized that like, the tokens that we need for the new team is roughly similar to tokens I have in my reserve.
In your allocation. Yeah.
In my allocation. Yeah, it's roughly similar, right? Make sense? I was like, oh wow, interesting. Right? Why don't I just fund the whole thing? Right? Myself. Fund the whole thing myself. Right? It's funny. Then I was like, okay, then there's some motivation. But I was like, hey, if I fund the whole thing, then I need some motivation, right? Right. Then need some motivation, right? Because I'm a cat. I like people tend to think that founders are like supposed to be altruistic and like selfless and shit. I don't buy that shit.
Yeah, there's like there's a spectrum from like kind of value extractors all the way to like saints. And I like to think that you're somewhere kind of in the middle, like the patient degen is kind of what I like to think of here.
Yeah. Anyway, I think here's the thing, right? I think so. Anyway, I can fund the whole thing. That means that there'll be no that means that the team reserve will not be touched. But and also like there'll be no net emissions, right? For with regards to these 65 new members, and then I will not get a single JUP on my end in 2030. And at that point, I will get 280 million JUP from the team reserve, and I also request, right, that I get a bonus of 220 million JUP, right, from the committee reserve. Yeah. And 3 notes, right? First of all, it's like since this option involves committee reserve, this is what is going to vote, right? Second of all, is that I think this option also has the benefit of having no net emissions from the team expansion, right? And also aligns my personal interests and motivations, right? Yeah. And also it's so basically if the community chooses this option, right, 220 million will set aside from reserves, but this amount can be vetoed or adjusted by DAO anytime. Yeah.
That's
so
right.
essentially for option two, right? There'll be no net emissions. I'm saying no, right? No net emissions. I'm saying so we have grown the team a lot. Make sense? Gotten a lot of core skill sets, to grow Jupiter, moving forward. Make sense? But no net emissions. That's the main thing. Yeah.
It's a big deal. On the personal note, can you talk about why, you and I have talked about this proposal for basically 5 weeks now. And I know it's a personal thing for you. It's not always easy to talk about articulately or easy to kind of address full on. But I think in this essay, you did a nice little job of explaining why this is actually, this idea even came to mind.
Actually, can you bring up the point about triggering the vote? Wes has this, how we trigger a vote. Oh, it's quite easy actually. I mean, it's actually very important for me for a lot of different reasons. I've been advised not to give any kind of targets for many different reasons. And
That's probably
cash
all we
will
can say on that front.
yeah,
Yeah,
cash
we
will.
can
But then,
move right along.
here's the thing. I think that a lot of people will. But here's the thing. It's like basically if people are unhappy, they bring it up, and any of the working groups as well as CWG can bring out a vote. It's simple as that. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And
OG
and
asked, so vote now and vote in 2030 to finalize option 2. No,
nah.
this would become then the operating
So
plan. It would execute in
can veto it.
2030 unless.
You can veto it. You just can veto it. We'll stop done. Yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah.
correct.
For example, if any of the if enough core group members, enough working group members and stuff wants to do a vote, let's do a vote. But it has to be veto vote. Yeah. That means I need this to be allocated. You know?
Yeah.
So I
We're
need
we'll take more questions in just a sec. Let's just go through the rest of the proposal and then we can take some more questions.
sure,
as well.
sounds good. And there are three things, right? Like number one is that first of all, I think I want to be I mean something here. Okay, it's like holy shit! It's like driving a project at Jupiter every day is crazy. It's actually really intense. You know, like really intense. You know what I'm saying? Like really intense, right? You know. So I think I'll be honest here, man. I feel like the more focus, the more motivation, the right orientation, the better, right? So I think I think come down to kind of three things for me, right? Number one is the focus, right? Done. One thing. Nothing else but Jupiter next 5 years. Done. Right? Nothing else but Jupiter and Jupiter next 5 years. Done. And secondly is I think it actually be pretty cool. It's actually be pretty cool to kind of like be given a bonus like community, you know? You know what I'm saying? That'd be pretty cool, right? Wouldn't it be?
I think
Wouldn't
so.
it be? Yeah,
I think
it'd
so.
be pretty cool, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, the other thing lastly I think I think that in the world of short term gains, right? I think it will be a good message, right? That look, Jupiter is here for long term. I mean, I've always said this, right? I mean, I've always said Jupiter is long term, but Cash, you know what? Everybody says that too. Make sense?
It's easy. Talk is cheap. You know what they say. You got to put the money where your mouth is. That's the difference.
I mean, every single folder I know says they're there for a long term, and then the moment the token hits the bank, they cash out. I'm not joking. I've seen so many. No, can you bring up Butter Boss's comment?
Butter boss, but you are selfless, Meow.
I'm not. I'm a lazy, self-motivated, degen cat like everybody. Okay, Ken. All right. I just like to play big. You know, that's all I do. You know? Right? Yeah.
That's right.
And anyway, yeah. I think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? So I knew I put my mouth is. You know. Yeah. And to recap, right, we have 3 goals. You know, man, this essay is really good. Holy shit, who wrote this thing? Like number one, make Jup, 3 core goals. Okay, number one, make Jup the best security platform, right, across all killer needs. Secondly, grow Jupiters into a worldwide movement. Looking at you, Cash. Looking at you. Right.
I'm looking right back into the camera at everybody else in this chat because this is the thing that we're all going to do together.
Right, and thirdly is that I think, you know, creating the JupNet experiment to aggregate everything, right? And that's why 5 years, because I feel like in 5 years' time, these things will be clear, right? You know, like number one is like, is Jupiter still the best, right? Is Jupiter's truly grown, right? You see what I'm saying? You know, right? And did the promise of JupNet come true? I think 5 years is a pretty good time for all these things. I think so. Yeah.
Should be enough to make some serious damage across these at the very least.
We'll see, right? But I mean, fundamentally, a lot of these things are things that I'm preaching, right? So, you know, it will be a good test, you know? Yeah.
You want to talk about that J spot of alignment real quick?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
The amount of giggles that Meow had when he came up with this this framing, I can't tell you.
Nah, no gigas, man. Just real talk. Real talk. Okay, lastly, right, I think this proposal is fun because it hits a G-spot alignment. I mean, if you think about it, right, alignment is very much like getting a G-spot, right? See what I'm saying? It is really, for example, like you gotta hit the spot just right, man. I'm saying, right? You know, you got long-term needs and short-term demands, right? You got to need to kind of like execute really fast, right? You know, but also like need for open debate. Make sense? You know, you also need to actually have like really understand like your personal motivation, right, and community contribution. You see what I'm saying? You know? Can you put the comment?
Which one? Hit the G
Is it
spot
G?
pause.
Is it G? No, okay. Honestly, just need practice. Okay, let's go.
Mhm.
Anyway, it's like, like for example, this alignment thing, it took us a long time. Cash, am I right? This alignment thing took us a while, right?
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's go on. Okay. If nothing else, okay. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So if nothing else, okay, guys. Okay. Honestly, I tell you, it's simple, right? It's that like I'm okay whichever way the committee votes. I'm okay, right? I'm seriously okay, right? That's the thing I always tell. I'm really okay. I think what I really
That's very good, OG. That's very good.
Oh
I like that. That's 2 stars for OG today.
2 stars OG and stuff. Yeah, and anyway, I think that but it's so funny. Omni-chain document will be Omni-chain document available probably in 1st May, 1st April. Sorry, not 1st April, the 1st week of April. Ideally, we're looking to ship the technical preview for JUPNet, right? On the first thing. Can you put what con Meow says?
This one?
Con Meow? No, down below. Come on, growing is so boring. All right, let's go. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, that's a proposal. Let's go. Yeah, what do you think, Cash?
I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna do a quick speed run recap. There's actually some requests in the chat for some slides to make this easier to follow.
Oh yeah,
So,
You're sure there's no slides. Yes, I'm sure some slides.
pull up the comment. pull up the comment. This is not just me. Me and Meow have this discussion all the time. That's why. But for anyone who wants just the speed tour, Jupiter started small and mighty. Just about 15 people when the JUP token launched, with 20% of the allocation to them. That team helped build Swap and Perps and a bunch of other things, and they've done a ton of things to demonstrate their alignment in the long term. Talking about burning 600 million JUP that was rightfully allocated to them. Talking about locking the first cliff for multiple years. But the goals continue to grow, right? We want to go and be bigger and better across JUP.ag, JUP.com, and JUPNet. Across all these 3 dimensions, we have pretty ambitious aspirations. And as the goals grow, the team's got to grow as well, right? This is what allows new talent to come in and help service these goals while allowing the OG team to focus and double down on the things that they're already great at. So if we have these world-defining goals, we need world-class talent. Those have come over the past year. About 65 people, as Meow said, have come through normal recruitment, like me, acquisitions like Solana FM and CoinHall, through things like the ecosystem of founders as well.
Like
and the key question,
like you.
Like me. And the people that have joined, the last 65 people, are doing a ton of really valuable things, as you can see on this slide. These are not people who are working on things over on the sidelines. These are people who are working at the core of where value is being generated in the Jupiverse. And they were brought on largely by the team treasury for all the acquisitions and so forth. But the key idea here is we want to make sure that they have some long-term alignment as well. That means giving them JUP, which is a strategic resource. That JUP can come from 1 of 2 places, either the strategic reserve or the community reserve. The strategic reserve controlled by the team, the community reserve controlled by the community. In this vote, what we're going to try to say is, where does that JUP come from? In option 1, the default option, it'll come from the strategic reserve. This is kind of the initial default plan. So 280 million JUP will be used out of the team's strategic reserve. And Meow, who also coincidentally has about 280 million, who has exactly 280 million JUP allocated to him, will just receive his on schedule as normal, right? That JUP, of course, is locked until June 2026, as per his prior commitments. But this option, there's some new emissions that come from the strategic reserve, but important to make sure that the rest of the Jupiverse can get built. In option 2, things get a little bit more fun. Meow will instead front all of the acquisition and all the team expansion, costs through his personal allocation. And then in return for doing that, in 2030, he'll get his 280 million back from the strategic reserve. So it's almost like a loan of some sort there. And then a bonus of 220 million from the community reserve as well, which is why this is a vote, because the DAO and the community as a whole are the ones who kind of approve everything that comes out of the community reserve. This means that Meow will not get a single JUP token until 2030. Which is max CAT alignment, and for the reasons already described, becomes pretty important, right? It allows him to have laser focus, long-term value, not just kind of short-term price movements, which is what hopefully every holder wants and every community member wants. Gives that long-term motivation as well, and there's that ample time to actually build out GUM and everything else. So it's a signal to the market, to the community, to the world that the long-term is going to be important here. And that is the vote. The vote is actually going to start tomorrow. The vote will start tomorrow I don't know the exact time, but it will be starting tomorrow. There'll be 3 or 4 days to go through. Yeah, let us know. Let me know in the chat if you like the slides. That's great. After you tried to mock
No, message better.
The key point is the vote's going to happen tomorrow. We encourage and demand the discussion to happen today and over the course of the next few days. Already in the chat, I can see that there are good and valid arguments on both sides. Meow is not going to be campaigning very hard for this in either direction. Is that fair to say, Meow? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. This is really a community decision here. Either way, what we know for sure, the new team members are doing incredibly important work and they need to be aligned. They will be receiving, we need some JUP in order to keep them aligned, right? It's just a question of kind of where they go. Slides go crazy. So yeah, that is what is going to happen now. That'll be the vote for this week. This is the promise of DAO season, which is this whole quarter and beyond, where we're doing a vote every single week. So stay tuned. Remember, everyone that votes in this will be eligible for active staking rewards as well.
It's
really
so funny
excited to see
that it's in 20 years. Hilarious. Yeah.
For option 1, when is it Meow's 280? It unlocks kind of gradually. There's annual, well, I guess it's linear vesting technically after the first year cliff. But in option 1, he won't have any until June 2026.
No, I'll have it. No. I'll have it. I just commit not to. I just commit not to use it. Yeah.
You commit to locking it. Yes, that's a better way to say it. Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, that said, let's see if there's any other questions real quick before we go. Because there's not going to be an active campaign.
Can you put out a trench boy comment? It's funny.
I vote for 5 years of no sleep and adrenaline. Don't need to vote for that, Trench Boy. That's going to come either way. How long? Slides looking sick, Cash. Appreciate you, Driz. Shout out to Shrishni on the help there. How long will the voting period last? I think it will be the standard 4 days, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be easy enough. Oh, Trench Boy accidentally got banned for that. Let's see. Any other questions here? Option 1 or 2, please give Meow a better internet connection. That's fair. Let's see. Are there any other questions here? Now is the time to ask it, folks. Let's see. What proportion of the community reserves would be used in option 2? That's a great question, actually. If memory serves, there's about 1 billion, maybe a little bit more than that, 1.2 billion in the community reserves.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, it's about. So I don't do math in public famously, but it's around whatever 17-18% would be used in 2030 for that. Will it require a supermajority? No, this will be a standard vote. Regular voting terms apply. It will require the quorum.
We should abstain though. Abstain.
Yeah, we'll have an abstain option as well, but it'll just require the quorum to get passed, which I think is something like 150 million JUP in order to count as a legitimate vote. Let's see. Are there any other questions? How is success defined in option 2? That's a great question. Meow, how do you think about success?
I think it would be pretty obvious, honestly. I think that I think that it's up to the. I feel like it's one of those things that if I do it's one of those things that if I do if the project goes amazingly fucking well and I do a really fucking good job, then there wouldn't even be a veto vote at all. It wouldn't even get interested. But I think if it's somewhere in the middle and stuff, then I think there'll be a veto vote. Then I think there'll be enough traction for veto vote. Yeah. And if it goes really poorly, then that doesn't even need to be a vote. I'll just be like GG.
Yeah. I think you've always acted with kind of with high integrity, and I'm not just saying that because you're here. I'd say it even if you weren't. So yeah, I think that we can kind of handle as it comes. Other than Meow's original unlock, will there be allocation unlocked for the rest of the team? The rest of the team is unrelated to this proposal. They have committed to locking their first cliff. So that is the case
and there. Sean is also locking his up to June 2026. Yeah.
Oh, is it possible to enable an option for JUP maxis to lock our JUP until 2030 like Meow? That's kind of interesting.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it's actually interesting. Someone did say on Twitter before I did read this thing. It's actually really interesting. I mean, like, there's probably a way, I think, for if you're working for the. It'd be interesting if you're working for the DAO and stuff. That could actually be interesting too. Who knows? You could think about it. So I'm saying, right? That could be really interesting. Yeah.
It's possible to lock for bonus as well. There's some ideas that have floated around like long-term staking, potentially increasing voting power, the more long-term aligned you are, and so forth. So these are things that if people should. If you have ideas on how this could work, please put them in the JUP research forum. Please tweet them and tag Meow and myself and Jupiter as well, and we can take a look. But definitely, actually, a lot of people in the chat seem pretty excited and interested in doing that kind of thing, which is good.
We'll be very interested in doing something like that. I'll be really interested in that. That'd be hilarious. Yeah. I think for now we're keeping the locking very simple. Because 30 days. Mainly because I think it's actually very important to actually. What's that, sorry?
The staking we're keeping at 30 days.
Yeah, we're sticking to 30 days. It just makes everything a lot easier. ASR voting, everything a lot easier. Yeah, But it will be very interesting to see if we can do some hardcore. It's a hardcore people want to do like 30 thing with me. That'd be quite crazy.
Yeah, might have to create a club for people that everyone that locks until 2030, the Meows Club or something like that. There was one other question that I think is a good one. I think it was from Loki, if I'm not mistaken. I can't find it right now, but it was something to the effect of what other uses would the community reserve have between? Here it is. Would the community reserve ever be used for ASR in the future if option 1 passes?
I mean, we don't know yet. It's actually one of the things that the DAO can decide, right? You see what I'm saying? I mean, okay, guys. The reserve is very important for a reason. Okay, like we designed the reserve, right, to be there but not easily used. See what I'm saying? That's the key thing, right? We designed the reserve to be there but not easily used. You can see that even for now, right? I'm using it in a way that because I think I recruited a set of really amazing people, right? And that's why I'm comfortable coming to you, right? And being like, let's do this thing. You see what I'm saying? Right? It's not like it's actually very, very careful not to use them, right? I think same for the community, right? The community actually at some point will have the ability to decide on important things. Make sense?
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as of now, I think we are keeping quite a tight rein on how the community reserve is being used. You know what I'm saying? Right? But ultimately, the core thing is that the community reserve would actually be approved by the community. That's the main thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Let's see if there are no other questions. Like I said, there's not gonna be an active campaign process for this. There's probably not gonna be any Twitter spaces. Maybe there'll be some answers to questions if there's a lot of confusion here, but this is really one to let the community kind of decide on. So if you have any other questions, please do let us know now. If not,
Scarlett had a question. It's actually very important. So actually, this is a really important point, right? What is going to happen for ongoing things, right? So I think we actually have a really good setup. I don't think we have a really, really good setup for like the next couple of years, right? But I think but we'll actually undergo a similar process, right? We'll just be very open about everything, Yeah. But I don't foresee that many that I don't expect such a major expansion coming in the next couple of years. Yeah. Yep.
Makes sense. Cool. All right, cool. I think that sounds about right. Well, with that said, let's move on to the next section. As we said, that vote is going to go live.
Oh, that was intense. That was intense.
It has been a long time coming, a long time brewing. But do you feel better now that it's out of the world?
You can see why these things are important, right? Because like you can see why this like long, stretched out, thought through process is important, right? Saying because it really took a lot of time to kind of like be able to communicate these core ideas. So I'm saying, right, into a lot of things. Yeah,
that's right. That's
yeah.
right. Well, let's, as Will says, strictless ugh lol. Yeah, we have to verification stuff, very important, but indeed it does need a little bit of an update. So in the spirit of kind of rallying around key ideas, let's talk a little bit about
let's go.
As we get into it here, let me just kind of preface this by saying this is a free service that basically every major Solana dApp relies on. If you've ever used Phantom or used Soulflare and you've seen that little warning that says this token is unverified, trade with caution, that is because it is not on the Jupiter Strike list, right? And this is offered for free to everybody, just to help traders all over the ecosystem. So it's a critical piece. It's a critical public good. In my opinion, one of the biggest public goods that exist on Solana is actually the Jupiter Strike list. But the times have changed and things have gotten a little bit tougher. Meow, do you want to talk about why token verification is critical but challenging as well?
Okay, first of all, we actually have been working on token verification for like many years, 3 years actually, 3 years. And actually and actually that there are like 80,000 new tokens a day. There are 80,000 new tokens a day, right? Everybody wants to be verified. Okay, everybody wants to be verified. Everyone to be seen as the token. Make sense, right? But and also it's like, and also we also had a really long like community list per se, right? And also who is a good judge, or who is a good judge, of what's real, not real. For example, there are like 50,000, there are 50,000 there are 50,000 like cat coins, right? Or dog coins, right? Which one should be verified, which one can be verified. And everybody and every single token wants their stuff to be verified. Make sense? It's actually really, really hard. That's the main thing. You know what I'm saying? No? Yeah. Yeah.
And so, where we are right now, been doing this for a few years, as you mentioned.
But so it's
and
very
it's
important, right? So you have things like for example, it's actually really important for people to trade the correct USDC, right? Or the correct bonk, or correct JUP, for example. See what I'm saying? You know, right? But sometimes I feel like our old process that we have been using, right? So first of all, we have actually maintained a verified token list for years, right? Also currently, the token verification is actually handled through the CATPad submissions, right? And also, yeah, I think as Lucid Vin say here, it's like, like there are thousands of scam coins, right? And the
by the
key
way, the
thing,
scams are so intense. I don't know if people are even aware of this. Nowadays, the scammers, they'll put the CA in the title of the coin. So even if you search for the CA, it'll pop up directly, right? Like that's how good the scammers are getting.
it's way more than that, man. They'll do crazy shit, man. What they'll do is that they will actually copy a coin that has same name, and they'll airdrop to users who have other wallets who have the same coin, right? Or similar wallets, right? So it will actually pop up. So it's because most wallets rank the token based on the holdings, right? Make sense? So they'll airdrop the fake one to you and stuff to make it look like you have the token. See what I'm saying, right? And then so it's really bad. So any attributor, we do so much work on that front, you know? Yeah.
So a lot of stuff happening there, but the process right now, somewhat manual. It requires teams to submit their Twitter where they post the CA, to share the CA, of course, and then it looks at a few key metrics, number of holders, organic volume, or excuse me, just volume, and a few other things. And then it is reviewed manually by a small set of folks, and it has to get at least 2 votes before it actually gets verified and added to the strict list. That's the current way to go, but that's not the way things are going to be into the future. So we need to redesign the verification process and define it. Let's talk a little bit about what the future of verification is going to look like.
Yes, accurate. And so the reason why it's in the JUP rally is because we want to rally people towards this new verification process, because we will need everyone's help here. Okay, cool. I mean, we'll be rolling out a product on this point soon. Okay, cool. But there are a few things. First of all is the idea. First of all, it's actually the sad thing is this, right? The sad thing is this: we are gonna have to remove a lot of the default, the current ones, right? Because I think over the past year or two, we verified a lot of ones that are pretty much completely dead, right? So we have to actually remove them, right? And thirdly is that the idea of the community list, right? But just to be clear, Cash, even even today, right? We actually have an open process. Anyone can actually create a list, right? So I'm saying, a list. You know what I'm saying? And then and actually we'll index them, right? The problem is that I think it's important, but the point is that users, the end of the day, very simple, right? Users really need a lot of certainty, about what is quote unquote correct one. Make sense? So this actually to answer the question. So when we verify, it's just to say this is probably the correct ticker.
This is the token that you probably want to be trading, right? It's not, as Molu, shout out to Molu and many others said, it's not an endorsement that this is a good token or that this is a token that you should trade. Rather, it is to say that your intent is probably to trade this token rather than any of the imposters that are out there. Where'd you go, Meow? I see a purple light on your face now.
Anyway, so basically there are a few things, right? We have to start cutting a lot of tokens from the verified community list, right? Secondly, we also be having to stop the community process. Okay, cool. Now, first of all, there's idea of blue chip verification. Okay, and that's actually reserved for only key tokens in the space, right? Like USDC or JUP or Trump. Okay, this list will actually be very, very, very limited. Probably it will be probably like 50 or 100. I'm saying like really big, like really blue chip tokens. Yeah. Okay, and second is actually going to be interesting. Second is probably is something that, so we have this called organic score that tracks how many people actually are voting, how many people actually actually buying a token. Make sense? Right? And also we'll also be introducing a way for someone to upvote or validate a token and stuff, right? Or flag a token. You know what I'm saying, based on a pre-existing score. Make sense? Like for example, like hey, so it's your cash, right? You are pretty popular on Twitter, right? So you earn the right to actually upvote the token. Make sense? Things like that, right? So we actually be introducing that as well. Make sense? Yeah.
Very
and
cool.
at the but so basically there will be some kind of verification, some kind of automated verification. Make sense? That if a token hits a certain threshold, right, they'll actually be up there. We are still figuring out. So can you pull up Polymonger?
Can I put up what's right?
All right. So there are two things, right? Now, first of all, you can't create bots. There are two things you can't actually create bots for. Okay. I mean, first of all, you can't create cash. Make sense? For example, it's like, so basically we'll be using crypto repetition as a way to actually verify how the voting means that you must actually get a certain threshold of you must hit a certain threshold before you will be able to yes can you pull out cat? Yes, accurate. Basically, right, that's actually a major thing, right? It's like, so above high organic score simply just means that there's actually real traders buying it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't rock. That's very, very important. That's very, very important. Okay, cool. That's actually why we really need community verification, right? We need real people to stand behind tokens they validate. Make sense? I'll say again. We need real people to stand behind tokens they validate, right? Far too often, right? What happens is that they just far too often is actually like far too often what happens is that you have people who actually doesn't have any interest in the token, right? So I'm saying, and then they are just like promoting it, but no one knows they're promoting it, right? So basically, if you believe in the token, you should stand behind it. Kind of thing. That's the idea. If a token cannot find enough reputable people to back it publicly and stuff, then you should probably not.
If it's only financial capital, that's one thing. But financial capital is a real commodity in crypto. Social capital is a lot more rare, and people oftentimes treat it a little bit more preciously. Interestingly, so if you're not willing to invest social capital into these tokens, that's a sign in of itself.
Precisely. So I think we're going to create a system to actually allow people to actually allow people to actually use like get social capital, right? Do something. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, and last one is social verification. The sites are wrong here, by the way. Sites are wrong here, by the way. I tried to change it, but I don't know why they changed.
Fuck it, we do it live. Live Ninja Edit. As we pull this up, Mola says we could use a disclaimer to enter the trenches and look at organic score like JUP does for perps. Interesting idea. Meow loop. So we have this blue chip verification for some of the top projects, very limited in scope. We then have the community verification, which uses that organic data and people all around the space to determine legitimacy. This is kind of like a de facto crypto Twitter reputation system, which I think is very cool. And then finally, the social verification, where a team will reach out in advance of the token launch, being like, hey, we're going to be launching this token. And then they tweet about it and they're able to claim it there, and it gets verified as well. So the social verification, again, is really just to say that, yes, this has been verified by a public Twitter. And that's really more narrow and specific than some of the current system, which is kind of all of it put together.
Yep. Let's go. Yep.
There we go. Cool. Anything else to say about verification?
No, it's a very hard problem. It's a very hard problem. I think a big shout out to Morton if you're watching this. Big shout out to Morton. Big shout out to Slog and everybody and stuff who have been, and May who has been working on this verification for a very, very long time. It's a time to I'm very, very proud of the work we've done verification. I think it's time for us to change that, right? Yeah, and work on something that's actually much more important. You know what I'm saying? Like much more scalable, everything. And I do actually think that this is a good verification system would actually be extremely helpful, right? So I'm saying, for actually for the future of crypto, because in the past, right? In the past, it was always like a SEX, right? A Nasdaq that kind of says, okay, what is good, what's bad, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we need a way that it's actually if you see these three different verifications, right? It is like number one is blue chip. Number one is proven. There's no doubt that you are a blue chip. Done. Over. Right? Make sense? And the second one is actually around that. Okay, there's actually enough signaling, right? Both from the like both in terms of the organic score, right, or organic usage, and also in terms of actual real people using their social capital to back you, right? And the third one is around like social media verification, right? AKA that all we do is simple. There's no verification, there's no certainty, there's nothing, right? We're saying, okay, this is actually launched by this guy. See what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I'm saying this is actually the three kind of verification that we're gonna start putting in like formal systems for, and I really, really need everybody's help to do that. Yeah.
That's right. Speaking of needing everybody's help, let's talk about changing the game a little bit. Maybe you have noticed token launches on Solana and token launches in crypto in general, not great as of late. I think there is kind of widespread cynicism and disillusionment. I had a tweet recently that communities run on trust, and trust is very hard to find in the trenches right now, and so nothing's really able to grow. And so what we wanted to talk about now, again, in that JUP rally spirit of pushing forward ideas, is how we might be able to start to shift the launch meta more towards C.A.T, certainty, alignment, and transparency. This is an idea that we've been talking about in many JUP rallies up until now. And we're going to start to formalize it on the product end as well, as Meow's shortly going to talk about. Meow, why should we even focus on new launch metas? Why is this important?
First of all, I think if you look at the whole JUP token, right, I think one of the things that I'm actually really proud of in the JUP token is that we have always been very focused on one thing, right, which is like we want to kind of like give people a lot of certainty about where the tokens are going to and coming from. See what I'm saying, right? And second thing is that we also want to actually focus a lot on alignment, right? We spend probably, I would say, 90% of our thinking, right? In terms of like how do we kind of make sure that we operate in a way that is fully aligned, right? It's like if because we want to be fully aligned with the community, ecosystem, and the team. Everyone's fully aligned, right? Even internal distributor, I spent a lot of time, right, trying to figure out, hey, how do we make sure that everyone in the team is fully aligned and focused on the mission, right? And then and for transparency, like, okay, every JUP token that goes in, that comes out of the reserves or Genesis, we account for them, right? For example, now before I release from the now I sell tokens, right? I don't just send a token to Binance, right? Right, saying I actually get on the call, I tell everybody kind of how it works, everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like so the C and the A and the T, I think always are very important for us. Yeah.
That's a fact. And so as we look into the future, I think we know we've learned some things in the past that are going to be very useful in terms of like how these launches actually happen, right? back in January 2024 was when the
actually do have a slide for C.A.T.
I don't know. Is it later?
Yeah,
Yeah, here it is.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
There you go. You want to talk about C.A.T?
Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, I think. Let me just edit something real quick. Yeah, sorry, I'm back. We're back. Sorry. Yeah.
So as I was saying, new launch mode has certainly been on our minds for a long while. In fact, it was part of the early stages of not just the Jupiter token itself, but the DAO as a whole. Right back in January 2024 was when the first post was made around the Jupiter LFG launchpad that was in beta. Drop a little W in the chat if you voted on any of the LFG launches that we did. I think there was
actually even earlier. Actually, this one was actually even earlier. This one's actually for the Jupiter JUP launch, and when with the JUP launch, we actually created entirely new thing around like 3 things. Right, number one, we did a token audit, so people know exactly what tokens are used for, and then we did a liquidity lock. Right, so even though we raise money, even though it's sold tokens and stuff, we locked the liquidity. Make sense? You know what I'm saying? We locked it up to I think we locked it. I think the plan was locked up for 7 days, but I think we ended up locking up for 3 months or something. You know what I'm saying? No, and that liquidity was actually very, very important, right? You know what I'm saying? And then so I think we actually spent a lot of time, right, designing a LFG launch model and stuff that actually works. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. Yes, Monkey is very started. Oh my god, I remember that thing. Cash, you remember we created something called like we created something called like the mock USDC and there's mock JUP, right? And saying the shit out of it. It's funny. Yeah.
That community lives to this day.
Mock actually created an entire community culture. It's fucking insane.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. Fucking crazy. Yeah. Zero.
From there in February, the design goals of the community-centric launchpad processes, the LFG launchpad kind of came together. And even back then, this was an essential kind of way to think about it, which was C.A.T, right? Certainty for token holders, alignment between all key stakeholders, and transparency on how the token's actually being used. Meow swears up and down that he came up with these certainty, alignment, transparency, and it is not make up this acronym to make it happen. Shout out to the Zero Boys in the chat, by the way. But yeah, so C.A.T always kind of been at the heart of things here. And now
Bella,
I think
Bella, are you Zero as well? Oh my Bella, the Zero community will love you, by the way. They're saying you should do some Zero content. That'd be amazing. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Hilarious.
So these ideas have been critical to the way that JUP, the token itself, was launched, and then how the LFG launches were designed. And now the idea is to start to use this to experiment a little bit further. So introducing the CATPad. Meow, what is the CATPad?
So the CATPad is simple, right? It's like we actually built so since JUP launch and RG, right, we really try to focus on 3 things, right? Certainty, alignment, transparency, right? But so far, all those things have been very, very permissioned, right? They all have to go through a big vote, a big everything and stuff, right? And I would say this thing. I think certainly over the last few months there have been a lot of launches that didn't really meet our expectations, right? You know what I'm saying?
They did not really make C.A.T a priority, let's say.
Yeah, they didn't really make a C.A.T priority. Right.
They were making VOG a priority. Doggone.
The world is the things will be so much more different, man. When actually just me change the slide real quick here.
Actions need to align with CAT, says WTP correctly. Indeed, kinda. I just see on the slide, Meow is adding the word kinda LFGV2. Kinda LFGV2. Indeed, it is. LFGV1 was very much a DAO process, right? There was the vote, there was the co-marketing, there was the community building, it was all that. This is a different thing, but it does kind of have that LFG energy to it in the sense that you're able to launch tokens and use the same kind of technical underpinnings that have underpinned multiple gigantic token launches in the past. So that is the CATPad. Should we take a little look at it?
Wait.
Okay. Give us a little bit more forehead. A little bit more forehead.
Shut up, shut the fuck up. Stop being so crude, bro.
Stop being so crude. It says the Mr. G spot calling me crude.
Shut up, man. It's not. There's nothing wrong. Dude, just because you can't find it doesn't mean it's crude. Okay, it's crude. Okay, it's easy. Let's go on. So anyway, I think okay. So basically, I think that so basically the main thing is this, right? I think we don't incentivize them, right? It's one of those things that we build a good product. You know what I'm saying, and people who want the transparency and stuff should use it, right? You know what I'm saying, and by the way, this is very early. By the way, we are going to actually be very experimental. You know, yeah. This is going to be very, very, very experimental. You know, right? We are going to guys. I'm telling you, I've been trying to launch this forever. Okay, but I can't really launch because I don't know what to do. Okay, so because I don't know what to do, I'm just say fuck it. I'm just gonna do stuff whatever. So I'm saying, you know, right? Yeah. All right. So basically, we are going to kick off 3 most launches, right? So I'm saying that one is a kickstart, right? And we'll explain that in a bit. And next is like one's a kickstart, second is a coming soon, and coming soon. Okay, cool. So
for the record, we know what these are. We're just kind of building up a little suspense, and hopefully every week we will reveal a new mode of launch.
Cash knows what they are. I don't know what they are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I know what the next like 4 are. But yeah, Kickstart is going to be the first one. We're announcing this live right now. This is the first time anyone has heard about it. This is the alpha. The Kickstart.
Live. Yes, live. First time. Let's go.
Let's go. Kickstart, a new way to launch on the CATPad. Let's talk a bit about how it actually works.
Yeah. So basically, it's quite simple, right? So it's kind of Kickstarter, right? As a name, right? You know, so you commit to back a certain fund. Then if the funding goal is met, the launch proceeds, right? You know, so basically, okay, so that's actually the easy part. Let's go next slide, right? Now,
let's just take a quick look here. Yeah, you can see what the flow looks like. This might change a little bit before it goes. These are preliminary designs, but you kind of set the liquidity target. It gives you the timeline and then the tokenomics as well. But yeah, let's take a look at an example.
Okay, here's actually what's cool. Okay, now here's actually where C.A.T comes in, right? Now, say you set the target as 5 billion. Say cash launching a coin. Make sense? Right? You say cash coin, whatever, right? And then you go like, okay, you set the target as 5 million FTV, right? Now, and 20% of that, and you set 20% of that for the liquidity pool, right? Therefore, your fundraise target is 1 million. Does that make sense? 20% times 5 equals to 1, right? Therefore, you raise 1 million, right? So when it's reaching stuff, the LFG, when it's raised, the USDC and the tokens form the initial pool. Make sense? Right? And lock for 6 months. Make sense? And the rest of the tokens lock for 2 years. Make sense? Cool? Yeah, that's it. So I mean that's it. It's a very simple model. All right. So and why is it interesting? Because firstly, right, it's like so the pre-sales will provide the pre-sales provide the liquidity. Make sense? Right? But they cannot dump. Because liquidity is locked, right?
Which means also they cannot rug pull, right? Traditional rug pulling is someone just takes all the liquidity out of the pool and the price tanks. Cannot happen. So anything launched through the CATPad, very difficult for that to happen, at least with the pre-sale amount that is.
Yeah, and then for the rest of the tokens, right? It goes to a certain wallet, so people can actually and then obviously the people have to account for how it's being used, right? There's also an option to kind of like set aside some portion of tokens for airdrops as well, right? But we have to do that later on, kind of thing, right? And also the initial and also after the liquidity pool is formed and open, right? There'll be swap fees. Make sense? For the initial price discovery. Make sense? Right? And that swap fees can be used to finance the immediate like operational needs and whatnot, things like that. You know? Yeah. So I think that's actually interesting because like number one, like so number one is that I think number one is simple, right? So this is really for people, right, who have an interest in creating a real community. So I'm saying, like for example, hey, you know what? I want to create a community. I want to raise money for it, right? I want to have I want my pre-sale people to actually be committed, right? So I'm saying into holding the token, into being part of this thing. So I'm saying, you know, right? So I mean, and also it's also a game, right? It's like you actually want to set your FDV. You actually want to set FDV. So you actually want to set your FDV and stuff, you actually want to set FDV to a point that like you actually want to set you want to set FDV to a point.
It's achievable. Yeah.
Achievable, not just that. It's so like okay, that people are confident, right? That the people are confident that they can actually make money, essentially from being a liquidity pool. See what I'm saying, right? So if you set it, but if you set too low, then it's not great because you don't get enough funds and then you get sniped on hot stuff. Understand? But then like but then if you do it, if you set it too high, then don't reach it as well. See what I'm saying? So it's sometimes it's a bit of a game, right? You have to. It's not easy. You have to actually.
This is the idea of the experiment, right? Is it like we're kind of creating new ways to play the token launch game? This is what new token launch metas look like. Surely best practices and stuff will emerge over time, but this is the kind of the CATPad is where those experiments can start to take place. But the critical thing here is the alignment and the certainty, right? As well as the transparency. Obviously, transparency, you can see everything right on there. Certainty, you can see the locks, you know the liquidity cannot be pulled, and alignment that you're building into the future with other folks as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, so I mean, again, this is one mode, right? This one mode about the modes and stuff. And we're just gonna try. I mean, I give up, right? I give up, right? I don't want to try to ride anymore. See what I'm saying? I honestly think that Pump Fun has done an amazing job, right? They're just amazing.
2 thumbs up
job
to those boys. Yeah.
Done an amazing job unlocking the token meta, right? I'm saying that right, and I think on my end, I think on my end, I think we did last year, we also tried to do, and then we also made progress ourselves, right? Our thing. Makes sense? No, right? So I think now it's actually really, and then obviously there's a lot of other launch pads coming up, right? See what I'm saying? So I think for us, I think the main thing is that, hey, how do we actually kind of like introduce like new ideas? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah. So I feel like the main thing, the main thing is like the main thing is that's the meaning, I guess. I think that, and then there are a lot of other things that But to be clear, I mean, nothing is drop proof, right? For example, like nothing drop proof. For example, someone can certainly launch a token here. Yes, you can't insta dump, right? But you can slow rug. You just lose interest and just goes away. You see what I'm saying, right?
Right, which is a different type of rugging in a sense. A hard rug is kind of what this prevents. The soft rug in the sense of just lack of attention or whatever is there. I would also say this is not, at least Kickstart mode is not directly like Pump Fun. Pump Fun uses this bonding curve mechanic. This is using more of a traditional kind of like Kickstarter model or crowdfunding presale kind of mechanic. So there is a fundamental difference in the kind of like technical way that the liquidity is aggregated and the capital formation occurs here.
Yeah, correct.
But indeed,
it's a different way of doing capital formation, right? It's very different.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Does CATPad leverage Meteor Tech?
Yes, it actually once the target it graduates into a Meteor AMM pool. Yeah.
That's right. Once the target is reached. So this is, I think, very, very exciting. It is the first of at least 3 launch modes, possibly more are going to come after that as well.
And the goal is, it's not going to be customizable, right? Like the parameters are all going to be customizable, right? But guys, just to be clear, right? I want to set expectations here, okay? One of the reasons why I've been failing to launch create this new thing is actually quite simple. It's because I quite simply was scared of failure, Yeah. So I also not sure what to do because there are too many options, right? And I also overcomplicated everything because I wanted too many things in there, right? I wanted a DAO to be in there to be able to do a thing. I wanted to do airdrops. So there's just too many things going on, right? So I want to, yes, okay, can I put OG things? OG? Yeah, there will be. I'll be explaining this thing in a lot of detail, okay, in the coming weeks, right? In the coming week before the things announced. So I think basically we're announcing now. Should I go on?
I was going to say, so when does it get? So we're announcing it right now. Kickstart mode and the CATPad launching mechanisms are coming. When will people be able to start to use this?
Can you go to the next one first?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, yeah, I was doing this slide. Okay. But I think so basically, we have so basically what the sequence is, okay. I'll be writing an essay on this. One more essay, bitch. Not essay about there's actually a post out on JUP research already on this thing. Can you go to JUP research?
not quickly or easily. So if it is important, let me figure it out in another tab. There we go. From our guy Zen, Master of Ceremonies over at Meteora here.
Yeah, so basically I think we have a sorry. Give a second. Can you sorry, 1 second.
What has just happened?
Nothing, 1 second, give me a sec.
Okay. So yeah, Zen has put a post up here on JUP Research.
Wait,
Zen,
sorry, 1 second here.
you want 1 second? No one talking? What's up? Is everything all right? You seem, I'm concerned now.
No, it's fine. Sorry. Can you go slide real quick?
Go to the slide. Sure.
Yep. Sorry. No, can you go real quick? Can you go to the yeah? Anyway, yeah. So can I think the meaning is this. I think we'll launch it next week. You know, yeah.
Okay. You all good, brother? What's going on over there? I hear a lot of typing. Cash looks lost. Probably longer. Cash is lost right now. I'm not sure exactly why Meow has stopped talking about all this stuff.
Okay, sorry. Are you on slides?
Yes, we're on the slides.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So basically, I think the main thing is this, right? The main thing is this and stuff. Is that I think there's a lot of details to actually get Okay, sorry, done. So I think there are a lot to do for the CATPad, right? For kickstarting, right? It's like, okay, cool. All right, we need to actually figure out like good default parameters. We actually need to kind of like decide who can change the vesting contracts. We also need to think. We also need to think about like we also need to think about like should the terms and everything be like
Bro, what are you typing? Where are you typing?
To actually be so for example should that for example like, okay, for example guys, for example should the assuming the kickstart thing happened, right? Make sense? And then kickstart happened, right? Now should it be a fixed time, right? For example, like so the like it should be a fixed, should be like a 7-day, should be like a 7-day or whatever kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of like default, there's a lot of parameters that we actually want to figure out before we launch it. Yeah. But anyway, I think we'll probably be we'll probably be looking to update the we'll probably be looking to update the launch list on Monday, right? So it'll be really cool to actually see who can actually kind of be part of this thing. So I did sorry. So basically we are announcing it.
Recenter.
Yeah.
Reset. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Lost you for a little bit there, brother. I got worried about it. All right, go ahead. So feedback that we need for the Kickstarter model on the CATPad.
Yes. Okay. So three things, right? Number one is I think we're going to get a lot of feedback over the next few days. So I'm going to put a post on that over the next few days. And next couple of days, and then we'll get a feedback, and then we'll aim to actually have the to launch a product in the next day or so, in the next week or so. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think what we'll do as well on Thursday, we're going to hold a special Thinking Out Loud session, which is a new format of sessions where it's going to be me, Meow, talking about these kind of ideas, and the rest of the community welcome to join as well in Discord, not streamed to Twitter. It's going to be an intimate kind of community affair where we'll get your feedback. So if you have ideas on what the parameters should be here, those parameters can vary from, okay, how long do people have for the fundraise? Does the token go live immediately when the fundraise is completed or at a predetermined date? What should the tokenomic options be in terms of the allocations? How long should the locks be? How long should the vesting be? What should the fees be like? All of these types of things need to be figured out. And we need to do this with the community to understand what people would like to see here and what would help inspire them with more certainty, alignment, and transparency. Those decisions still need to be made. K-Day asks when the 2030 vote is going to happen tomorrow, my friends. You'll see that there. Okay, cool. So that is the feedback that is needed. If you want to learn more about the CATPad, do head over to the JUP research forum. Our guy Zen from Meteora just put a long form post that explains a little bit more in detail how the mechanics are going to work and what it is all about. So people should definitely check that out. Meow, before we wrap up here, any last things to say on the CATPad? I hear your fingers click clack, and I get very nervous that we're in for some silence.
You should be nervous. Yeah, nothing much here. Nothing much here. I think that the 1 second.
Oh, I see now. Okay, I see that you were typing in one of our groups, and now I understand the thought. Okay, so in any case, the CATPad feedback needed. We're going to decide on the parameters. Next Monday is the tentative launch. Next week for sure. Going to target for Monday and hope that comes through. Obviously, we got to figure out.
It's also be really good to. It's also going to be really good to also like. So I think, Cash, how should we do this? I want to actually do a session whereby I explain we explain things and discuss things and get feedback and get feedback for it. I'm saying no, right? Yeah. So what do you think we should do? Yeah.
I think Discord is the best way to do it. I think it'll help ensure that it's folks who kind of understand the CAT ethos, certainty, alignment, transparency, why it's important and what it is. So I think those sessions are probably good. And then maybe we do a Twitter space on the weekend or something like that and invite the larger kind of crypto community to come in. Because obviously this is a product for everybody in crypto to kind of experiment with some new options of how these token launches could be done.
Can you pull out the whole Aspersia thing?
The whole what, sorry?
Aspersia as a comment. Yeah.
Does JUP benefit from revenues from teams launching from the Launchpad?
Yeah, so I think over here, first of all, I think we do actually intend to charge like very low fees for it and also offer it via API. I think the other thing that's actually important here is to understand that yes, I think we will just keep it as a different thing altogether because if the Launchpad if this launch thing gets traction, right? If this launch thing gets traction, then what we will do is that we will start to actually have revenue, the 50% buyback thing.
Well,
right?
no. What will happen is the protocol fees, half the protocol fees will end up going to the Litterbox Trust, which will then accumulate JUP.
Yes, if it takes off. I think for now it's such a baby product. We don't place any revenue expectation on it. Yeah. So I think that's actually very important.
This is an attempt to experiment and kind of push the meta forward. This is not like a business decision right now. Like the very clear idea here is how do we make this space and how do we make token launches better for everybody?
Experiment.
That's right.
Yeah. How do we experiment with new things? Yeah, Yeah.
That's right. All right. Well, cool. People can stay tuned. So we'll have some more.
We finally did it. After you finally did it. Oh my God.
I mean, we'll say next week finally is the truth. But just to recap this for anyone who is joining late here, the CATPad, a new way to launch tokens, to redefine the token launch meta, building on all of our experiences and our learnings over the past year from launching JUP the token and launching many others through the LFG Launchpad. Well, we know people want certainty, alignment, and transparency. And that's what we're trying to experiment and help them build. So the permissionless launch platform, the CATPad, will have multiple modes of launching tokens. The first one is Kickstart. There's going to be more coming soon, probably one every week for the next month or so. Kickstart is effectively like a crowdfunding campaign or a pre-sale kind of campaign where you can launch a token, identify how much you're trying to raise. It'll make sure that there's on-chain vesting and locked liquidity so that you cannot do a hard rug pull, but swap fees go to the token creator so they can fund the operations, the Telegram, the deck screener, the sex listings, etc. And ultimately, what we're trying to do, reduce risk for participants, align the project and the community interest, and have super clear and open tokenomics coming as well. But we need your feedback to make it work, folks. So please do check us out in Discord on Thursday. We'll do a thinking out loud session. If you have ideas on what the right parameters ought to be, we'd love to hear them. And then on the weekend, we'll probably do a Twitter space and invite everybody else in as well. I think that should be it. Oh, hold on now. Haze Man has got an idea. Cash, you guys must call your new stream Thinking Out Meowed. Not bad. I like that, actually. Feedback makes the dream. Feedback makes the dream work. Yeah, almost. Folks, I'm very excited about CATPad. I have no idea if it's going to work or not. We really should keep expectations low. This is a new way to launch tokens with a new focus that is clear. There's some community appetite, both in our community and in the larger community, to make token launches great again. This may or may not be the exact right way to do it. It's probably going to need some iterative cycles to get there. So please keep your expectations in bay. But if this works, I think it has a chance of really being important for not only the JUPiverse, but also for the crypto ecosystem as a whole. And indeed, it is just one of a few different launch mechanics that we're going to be looking at. So keep an eye out. All right. With that said, zero expectations. That's right. What we're going to do now is say thank you very much for joining, folks. Vote happening tomorrow on Meow's 2030 plan and where the JUP to fund the team expansion is going to come from. Excuse me. We talked about the new verification processes and what's going to be happening there, and how we're going to continue to evolve as the landscape continues to evolve. And then, of course, we talked about the CATPad, a fun new experiment in launching new tokens that Jupiter is going to be putting out next week. Now is the time to start thinking about what kind of tokens you might want to launch, how you might start to distribute those, how you might start to build up a community around those. If you have any questions or are interested, jump into the Discord. We'll be able to help you out over there. Meow, any final words? Oh, and please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, as my guy Molu, who is helping to run that, is starting to look at. Scarlett's saying, look at those nice illustrations that should be in my wallet. I miss the POAPs too. I don't know. Maybe we'll bring it back at some point. Meow, any last words for the folks before we jump?
No, I'm just like really excited to work on everything. Like just I think every single thing that we push on the rally here has been a lot of work, man. Like across the 2030 thing, which is like a way for us to drive alignment, long-term alignment. The verification thing, it has been a really big like a really big like labor of love and stuff. I don't even love. I don't labor something, you know.
Labor of pain, maybe.
Thirdly is that I think the CATPad thing is something obviously we have been doing launch pads for a long time, right? I'm saying RVG for a long time, and I think it's but we have really been struggling to try to push something new in a direction, right? I'm saying no, and I think it's like it's so it's time to put them together. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for coming out. Lovely seeing you all. We'll see you on Thursday in Discord and probably on Twitter sometime after that. Stay tuned, by the way. There's some other big announcements coming up from the Jupiter product side over the course of the week. Planetary call again next week, more than likely, because we want to talk about all the great product work and all the great partner integrations that are happening. So stay tuned for that. Might get Joe Doe from Jupiter Trenches. Might get Aaron from Jupiter Spot. We're going to get the whole cast of characters. It's going to be a blast. Thank you all very much. We will catch you all very soon. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. Goodbye, everybody.